Okay. Time for another game theory video. I had to restart this. I'm going to talk about what characters I want to see in Dragon Ball FighterZ and what characters I think should be in the game, right? So remember, if you like these kind of videos, like, sub, hit the notification bell, you know, all that kind of stuff, whatever. I don't think I've ever said that before. Silly comment, it helps the channel, and you know, people are always trying to get people to not watch my videos, so if you want to support, thanks. Anyway, so what characters do I think should be in the game and what characters do I want, whatever? Well, to relate this to game theory, I've talked about games are special when you have a game where characters can show off what the game could be. And I've always talked about one of the problems of Dragon Ball FighterZ is you do not, because the fundamentals of the game are flawed, you don't have characters that are showing off the game as well as they potentially could. And when you talk about a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ, when I talk about why it's such a drop ball, is because I've often talked about how you can't actually have a lot of new ideas in fighting games. You don't have a lot of opportunities to put new characters in. But because of the whole homing dash, you know, fireball, you know, reflecting mechanic, and I've often used Vegito as an example, not just because I don't like Vegito necessarily in the game, but serendipitously, coincidentally enough, he does happen to be a character that could really show off the potential beauty of the game, right? With fireballs, reflecting, homing, dashing, whatever, blah, blah, right? Dragon Ball FighterZ is a chance and an excuse to actually add new kinds of characters into fighting games. A character like Vegito, the idea of, you know, fire, you know, with the Banshee Blast, Split Finger Shot, all this kind of shit, that kind of idea of a character is not really possible in another fighting game that would not have reflecting and homing dashing and everything like that. And it only amplifies the fact that this game is so fundamentally flawed. But for what it's worth, you know, there's Dragon Ball FighterZ games with hundreds of characters, and I don't think it should go that far. This game already has, like, what, almost 50 characters? The game is already oversaturated from a certain standpoint as it is. But when you think about fighting games and you think about how it's very difficult to make any new kind of fighting game character ever, right? Even a game like Guilty Gear, not that Guilty Gear is my favorite series whatsoever, right? I tend to like Street Fighter games, but you got to give credit where credit is due. At one time, Guilty Gear was reinventing what a character could be in a video game. But even Guilty Gear eventually got stale because there's only so much you can do in a 2D fighting game. But Dragon Ball FighterZ, because it actually has new mechanics and new fundamental ideas of what a fighting game can be, it gives you a chance to, I'm not saying there should be hundreds of characters in this game whatsoever, but it at least gives you the chance to have new kinds of characters to make the fact that there's so many characters not so ridiculous, right? And that's why, you know, it's one of the biggest fundamental flaws that they didn't trust their idea with really going off that fireball, homing dash, reflecting mechanic. You know what I mean? Really let there be new archetypical characters. Like we have Brawly the Bruiser on this other side. You know, we could have the Pixie kind of character. You know what I mean? The grappler kind of character. We have, you know, the kind of a character like this, you know, I guess not really Eddie, but you know what I mean? The character has like an assist character, whatever it might be. You know what I mean? And then we have a character like Vegito, who is the fireball reflecting, really shows off that kind of core mechanic of the game. Even a character like Ultra Instinct Goku, right? Look at him here. He's like, look at that big dick energy right there. And Vegeta's like, please, I don't want to suck the thundercut. Please don't make me suck your cock. Please, please, please. I don't want to suck your cock. Please. Blah, 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 blah. Right? That kind of shit is cool. A character like that doesn't exist in another game. They should have went totally crazy with the characters they have, right? But that was very long-winded, right? So what I would do if I wanted more characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ, first of all, you don't want that many more characters, right? Because the game it already has like 50 characters, right? So really focus on the characters that you already have and really look back to those clear archetypical characters, because when you have characters that really show off a game, the game can really shine, right? You know, I've used games like Karna's Revenge as an example of why it failed, because a character like Mizuguchi, who often shows off the game well, is not in the competitive narrative. But if you see him play well, he does. A game like Super Turbo succeeded because you can see these archetypical characters and different various types of archetypical strengths are all in the narrative of the game. So you want strong, again, grappler characters, you want strong fireball characters, you want strong new reflecting homing dash characters like Vegito, whatever. But if I had to add new characters, what would I do? Well, first of all, again, I don't care about Omega Shenron, but I do think Omega Shenron deserves to be in the game. I don't know how they would make him interesting, but I think Omega Shenron could be interesting. Another character that I think you could do interesting, and it also even goes off the whole android thing, and I hate these kind of characters. I hate characters with assists. I think they're fucking stupid, but call a spade. Different things in games are good, are healthy for the game. So you want what I think they could do, and it's going with the android. Add dr.gero, dr.gero, whatever, and have dr.gero, he fights. And you want what you could do to show off the game. You know how you have like a regular reflect like this? Maybe when you reflect with dr.gero, whatever it is, the fat android comes out, and if you hold down the button, he sucks up your ki, and it gives you power to him, right? And then he also has a couple of moves like, hey, that move is this move. Maybe that's that fat android comes out and he does an E Honda super headbutt, comes across the screen. Give it some kind of interesting thing. Maybe he has this move, he comes out, and you want to know what he does? He comes up back and he starts fucking butt humping you from behind. He's like, I will suck your energy, blah, blah, what the fuck he's doing. I don't remember the fuck, whatever happened in the anime, right? You know what I mean? You could add a character like that, and you know, a gimmick of him that no other character has is he could have a reflect that maybe his reflect actually is pretty, you know, I guess in one way it would kind of make him shitty in a sense, but maybe his reflect is really a gimmick. A gimmick of maybe his reflect isn't great as knocking guys off you, but it instantaneously, it's great for the fireball. For the whole fireball, okay, like let's use Vegito as an example, dude. You know what I mean? So say if there's a character, whatever character is fighting, and like the dr.gero guy's fighting, like maybe he sucks at the whole just reflecting as getting you off him aspect of it. But maybe versus a character like Vegito, who really shows off the potential beauty of the game with fireballs reflecting homing dashing, maybe dr.gero, he doesn't give a fuck about this shit. Because this is just, he just sucks it up. He's just, man, Vegito, that shit doesn't work versus him. Personally, I think Vegito should instantly kill everybody because he's the coolest character there is. But maybe that's a counter character to Vegito, right? You know what I mean? Because Vegito, who normally shows off that aspect of the game well, fuck, dr.gero fucks him up. Do you know what I mean? It goes with the android too. You know, give him some fat android moves, something like that. Who else could you add? I don't have Ginyu on here, but I've said it before. Again, I don't even like these kind of characters, but say how Ginyu has, you know, assists when he's fighting. Maybe add one of those fucking, what the fuck? It was the character designs are so ugly in it, but it was that, the one Dragon Ball movie anime where Trunks has long hair and they're fighting those different guys and Teen Gohan kills him with a punch, I think it is. Is that what it is? Whatever, but he has like 4 henchmen. Maybe another Ginyu kind of character, but it's one of the movie bosses, right? And so he comes out with his little henchmen and they have different moves, whatever, right? That kind of stuff, although I think those characters are dumb, those kind of characters are healthy for a game because they're different, right? And I'm sure, let me take a drink of my hot chocolate. Down the road, they would have a character like, what is his name? He's in the manga right now, Moro. Maybe Moro's going to be in the game. He deserves to be in the game, but I really think they should find a balance of characters that deserve to be in the game lore-wise and characters that deserve to be in the game because they can make it interesting, right? I know people want Raditz. I guess Raditz could be. If you could make Raditz interesting, put it in, but don't put in characters at this point when there's already 50 characters in the game just for sake of doing it, unless you're going to really give love to the characters beforehand. So really, when I think about what characters do I want in Dragon Ball FighterZ, I want the characters that are already in it. I want the characters to make you think, dude. I want characters to make you change your perspective on what is possible in a fighting game, right? Fix the bullshit fundamentals of this game, right? Because this game actually has new ideas, and that's why I say it's such a drop ball, because so many games, again, and I use a game like Guilty Gear, as much as I hype up Guilty Gear in certain ways that it put new spins on archetypical characters, even Guilty Gear became dry and stale because there's only so much you can do with these kind of characters. But Dragon Ball Fighter Z, because there's actually a new fundamental game system in place, you have a new potential archetypical character that you can't have in other games, while adding something else to these former archetypical characters to make the burden of such a large Dragon Ball Fighter Z roster not so much of an eyesore, right? Do you get what I'm saying? So that's the kind of stuff I would do. Those are the kind of characters I want, right? So again, I use the dr.gero and Fat Android as an example because you can put a new spin on the gimmick that is already in the game. You could add in another Ginyu kind of character or whatever, make it one of those movie bosses that throw out the henchmen's, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff, right? And of course, you know what? I mean, there's tons of characters you could do as long as you make them interesting. But don't put them in just for a cheap pop. Fix your fucking game. Anyway. Remember, if you like these kind of videos, like, sub, subscribe. Like I said, there's always people trying to get people to not watch my videos, and you know these guys, they don't fucking do anything. Say not to watch my videos, and then they just rehash what I've already done. Unbelievable. But remember to support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.